Joining me now, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. He's former chairman of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, the ranking member on the permanent subcommittee on investigations. Senator, what do you make of that denial? Oh, it's not politicization, although that Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, has upended more than 2 centuries of norms by doing this.
Oh, good morning, Dagan. Well, first of all, I don't believe anything that Joe Biden tells me. We investigated his son, Hunter. Joe Biden repeatedly said that he'd never spoken to his son about his overseas business deals. Now we know he spoke to him all the time about it. So I don't believe Joe Biden. And I certainly don't believe Merrick Garland and higher-ups in the FBI. They've been lying to the American public as well. They've been covering things up. So it's obvious that the FBI has been politicized. Top echelons of it, Department of Justice has. To me, this is looking more and more like a dispute over the president's declassification authority. My understanding is that the president is the ultimate authority in terms of what is going to be declassified. Certainly my experience inside government is that we way overclassify information, and it's generally overclassified to protect the agencies from embarrassment, from things they have done. We certainly witnessed that with, for example, the Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz's report on the FISA abuse. They classified footnotes that completely contradicted the body of the report that showed the FBI knew as early as October 2016 that the Steele dossier was tainted with Russian disinformation. Now, why did they classify that? That had nothing to do with national security. They classified it because it was embarrassing the agency. My guess, and again, I don't have all the details, but I know President Trump was trying to had declassified information tail end of his administration. We have not seen one page of that. My guess, some of that information probably went down to Mar-a-Lago, was declassified, but now I guess there's a dispute. This dispute ought to be settled in court, not with search warrants of a former president. So obviously, this is a highly politicized atmosphere. It should alarm every American what is happening with law enforcement. They believe they're above the law.
When you hear from Democrats, you hear from liberals, how dare you criticize the Department of Justice? How dare you criticize the FBI? Well, the FBI, as you pointed out, there was rampant abuse of the FISA court. The way that an individual in the Trump campaign was spied upon, and the FBI was lambasted by the chief judge of the FISA court. So it's a lot of how dare you just to shut people up who have very serious questions about an abuse of power and upending precedent about searching the home of a former president.
Dagan, I had to subpoena the FBI to get information. I didn't get the information I sought, so they ignored subpoenas. They actually ran an operation against me where they gave me an unsolicited briefing in August of 2020. I knew it was a setup. 9 months later, they leaked that to the Washington Post to smear me. So again, I have been on the receiving end of the politicization of the FBI. I know it full well. I've seen it up close and personal. So again, I have no faith in Christopher Wray. He certainly has not cleaned up the agency. It was under his leadership that he briefed the Senate, or the FBI briefed the Senate Intel Committee in March of 2018 that the Steele dossier still had integrity. The Mueller probe never should have occurred because the FBI knew the Steele dossier was junk.
I want to get your reaction to, we were watching just a short time ago, migrant buses arriving at the Port Authority. That's the major bus terminal here in New York City. This is Fox News cameras captured a massive group of illegal migrants entering the United States in Eagle Pass, Texas yesterday. Fox's Bill Malugin says he saw more than 700 migrants cross just over the weekend. Senator, you are holding a roundtable tomorrow on this border crisis. Tell me more about it.
Well, understand the number of people, the number of illegal immigrants that are coming into Washington, D.C. and New York City are a mere fraction of what Customs and Border Patrol are dealing with. It's been, for the last 4 or 5 months, over 7,000 people per day. 7,000 people per day being encountered. Don't even call it apprehensions anymore because they're encountered, processed, and dispersed within about 8 hours. the human depredations of the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, the flow of deadly drugs. Those are the things we're going to be talking about tomorrow. It's what the mainstream media and the Biden administration are completely ignoring. But again, I think it was a brilliant move, quite honestly, on the part of Governor Abbott to send just a fraction of what he's having to deal with, what the people on the southwest border are having to deal with, up to New York City and to D.C., these sanctuary cities. They can't handle it, but they're being asked to handle a mere fraction of what this federal government is forcing on southern governors.
And I'll point out again, in these shelters where these illegal migrants are showing up, you know who's being put to the back of the line? U.S. veterans, people who live here legally, citizens, people who served our country, who need help, and they are being put at the back of the line in favor of people who are here illegally. Final word to you, Senator, on that.
It's such a shame. You know, we are a nation of immigrants. We need a legal immigration system, but this illegal flow is not good for anybody. I mean, the abuse of the immigrants themselves. You know, who's going to pay for all this? It's the American taxpayer. And again, Democrats just couldn't care less.
Senator Ron Johnson, thank you so much for being here. Great to speak with you.